Since I was 17, I gave you everything. We woke from a dream. Now, baby, what was that? Honestly, meet a Lorde after changing my life with pure heroin and then disappearing every couple of years. Seriously, okay? This is my Olympics. Holy moly, the Lorde has risen, and I could not be happier. I'm so excited about this. Just look at this amazing timeline made by a Reddit user, okay? We are here. It is high time. If you're here, you've probably already listened to the first single off Lorde's upcoming album. What was that? And as confirmed by the Queen Charlie XCX herself, Lorde Summer is on the way. Thank you. What was that is quite a production departure from solar power, but more akin to like melodrama styles. And I am so excited about that. Even though I will always be a solar power defender, okay? Sometimes we need to take a break and sit in the sun and have a beachy little self-reflection time. We're not above that. Let's take a look at the producers we have stacked up, okay? We've got Lorde producing. We love women in music. We have Blood Orange, which, if you don't know, he makes super cool music on his own. Very dreamy with exciting, more, I would say, like alternative leaning bits and pieces in his soundscapes. I think his song Best to You, which features Empress of as a vocalist, is one of my favorites. We got Dan Nigro, of course, who is infamously like the pop producer of today, okay? Dan is bringing us alternative pop fusion realness by producing all of Olivia Rodrigo's stuff and Chappell Roan. And who I'm most excited to see on this roster is none other than Jim E. Stack. Woohoo! His solo music is so lovely. I highly recommend you check it out, especially if you're someone who really likes vocal chops, fun percussion, and just surprising ways of manipulating sound within a pop structure. His song Somebody really soundtracked my 2018, my first big move out of the house, and ooh, so good. I Did the Best I Could is also really great. I mean, there's so many good tracks produced by Mr. Jim E. Stack, and he produces for so many other artists. He also has a lot of other collaborations with Empress of. This beautiful merger makes so much sense, I think, for Lorde. I feel like everyone on this roster loves pop music, but also loves weird stuff or alternative stuff. And when you mix familiarity with the cutting edge, that's where you get the sweet spot of pop. Woo! If you're new here, hi, my name is Kate, and this is my series called Cattle Considerations, where I talk about art, culture, in the internet, and anything. Whew! I love art, and so can you. One of the most interesting things about this release, and unconfirmed, but any interpretation of art and its references are valid, in my opinion. But someone on Reddit pointed out that the resemblances between the cover art for What Was That and Marina Abrimovic, specifically during her eye contact exhibit, are striking. If you don't know about Marina, she is one of the most important figures in contemporary art in eye contact, which was famously exhibited at MoMA. Marina sat there for days on end without food, without water, without an expected level of breaks. And she would sit in a chair, and there was a little instruction card that read, "Sit silently with the artist for a duration of your choosing." And that's exactly what would happen. People would come, Marina would look at them in their eyes in their face and sit in silence, which creates this strange capsule of like artificial or maybe genuine intimacy. And I think this makes sense for the project that's coming out, and it makes sense for who Lorde is as a figure. And she constantly talks about the line between self-preservation and quiet creation versus public perception. And I think in a lot of ways, her art is so good because we can pull so much from it. You know, what we see, what we experience, what we listen to or observe by engaging in her art is more of a reflection of ourselves. This is editing Kate here, but I totally forgot to include that in this performance, Marina had an old lover appear, and there's this very emotional experience. I will include a clip here, but I also feel like this idea that's reflected in the supposed referenced cover art, and then also just the idea of the song, is two people really knowing something that was shared intimately but not being able to discuss it, or you know, just at the end of the relationship there's always like this fire or something that you will share with someone else, but in order for you both to move on, you don't speak of it. So yeah. There also seems to be a bit of a contrast between a lot of the fashion choices right now. Lots of minimalistic color schemes and pieces on the outside, but on the inside. And as seen in the iconic water bottle, there's a Technicolor interior. There's the Technicolor emotional intimate bikini that's flashed throughout this music video. And also, we gotta talk about that. Okay, I am so upset. I did not live in New York for nearly 7 years just to move out to LA when Lorde was filming a thing. Very, very tragic. Can you imagine singing Ribs at the top of your lungs in Washington Square Park with a bunch of buds? Whew. Will this happen again? I don't know. The NYPD had to shut it down. But back to the video, okay? I think noticeably it's filmed on iPhone. It feels, I don't want to say amateurish because the shot selection is very clearly thought out, but it is accessible. And the whole video culminates in this accessible experience where Lorde just texted on her thread chain, "Meet me in the park," you know, as though you're pals. Side note, I miss biking in NYC so much. And LA is so weird. There's a bike share here, but there are literal sections of the city that lobbied against having a bike share. So you can start biking in one part of the city, but if you go through like Beverly Hills, you have to stop. And it's just, how infuriating is that? I think What Was That definitely feels kind of like a sister track to Greenlight. You've got the pedal tone coming in, these intimate little pops of color, manipulated warbly synths. Someone said that Lorde makes music for grown-up teenagers, and wow, I think that's accurate, and I love it. I think as Lorde matures in her writing, her style is becoming a little less oblique while still being universally applicable, which is super impressive. But if we look at the lyrics of the new single, there's just a lot of beautiful details that paint a picture while still being tied to so many ideas. This image of someone covering up all the mirrors in their apartment, wearing smoke like a veil, staring at the painted faces, and ooh, in the blue light down at Baby's All Right. Whew. If you don't know, Baby's All Right is a fantastic venue where lots of indie acts, lots of my friends play at that lovely space. Definitely go check it out if you haven't before and you're in the area. But it's just cool. There's a real personal touch here. There's something, the music is just as grandiose as melodrama, but it feels a bit more grounded, and it's just a banger. I mean, I'm I am so biased. Lorde is literally the artist that really made me want to make music and try creating, because I didn't know, I was a very young teen, but I didn't know that you could have such alternative leaning stuff in a pop context. And that was super exciting to me. On this track, Lorde said on her website, back in New York, deep breakup, stopping birth control, every meal a battle, flashbacks and waves, feeling grief's vortex and letting it take me, opening my mouth and recording what fell out. Jimmy shouting in the background, 1,000 hours of audio embroidery, Dan telling us where the mood bass should go, Andrew giving it teeth. The night we finally got the drums right, the sound of my rebirth. I love the drama of it. I love the drama of it, and I love the sincerity of it. Okay, it's hard to have big emotions in public now, because it's I think a lot of us are so numbed out that we just have to respond with laughter to feel something. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on this track, on the album. What are our theories? What are we thinking? How are we feeling? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you later. Bye.